Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to Wobble Enjoy Sports. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Round 0, Las Vegas round. It starts this weekend. Team lists have just been announced. Let's get into it. The first game of the 2024 NRL season emanates from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Sunday the 3rd of March at 12:30 Queensland time, I think. Please check your local times for listings, but it is kicking off approximately 12:30 this Sunday. Manly versus South Sydney. On Sportsbet, Manly are outsiders at $2.10. South Sydney are the favourites in at $1.74. If you are new to this channel and you don't know how I do my tips, this is the Ace High Tips show, by the way. This is a fresh reaction to Team List Tuesday. Sometimes it will be the case, sometimes it won't, but this is a fresh reaction to the teams that have just been announced. But before I get there, just a couple of stats to get into. This will be the 150th match between the Sea Eagles and the Rabbitohs in NRL competition. And at the moment, it is Manly who lead 77-72. However, South Sydney have dominated this fixture since 2019, since the start of 2019. The South Sydney Rabbitohs have won 7 matches in a row against the Sea Eagles. They have dominated the men from Brookvale. As far as round 1 statistics go, Manly are one of the worst, if not the worst. They got their first round 1 victory last year for the first time since 2013. Since 2018, they're 1-5. That was their first victory in round 1 last year since 2013. For the South Sydney Rabbitohs, since 2018, their round 1 record stands at 3 wins and 3 losses. Latrell Mitchell, he is 2 tries away from scoring 100 tries in his career. I don't know if he's been named, but I'm just saying, if he has been named, he's playing in Las Vegas. Why not bet big? I'd be going 2 tries for Latrell Mitchell this weekend. That's if he's been named. And well, before I go on any further, let's actually get stuck into the team list, shall we? So let's start with the Manly Sea Eagles. In at fullback is Tom Trbojevic. Touch wood for you for the entire season, mate. Jason Saab and Jackson Paulo will be the wingers. Talatau Kola and Ruben Garrick are the centres. Luke Brooks and DCE will be the halves pairing. Paseka, Croker and Aloiai will be in the front row. Surprising to see Aloiai. I thought he was either injured or suspended, but we continue. Olakau'atu, Ben Trbojevic and Jake Trbojevic round out the back row. The interchange for the Sea Eagles reads Lawton, Waddell, Bullimore and Nathan Brown. And we've got Jake Arthur, Tommy Talau and Brad Parker on the interchange, on the reserves bench as well. Shifting into the South Sydney Rabbitohs lineup now. Latrell Mitchell has indeed been named at fullback. For some reason, I thought he was going to be suspended for this game, but here we are. He has been named. That's a huge get, and I'm going to be betting big on him since it's Las Vegas round. I'm going to say that he scores 2 tries so he can get 100 tries in his career in Las Vegas. I reckon that's a pretty good storyline. Speaking of try-scoring storylines, will this be the year that Alex Johnston matches the all-time try-scoring record? He's got about 26 off the top of the dome. It's possible. It's entirely possible. Alex Johnston has been named as one of the wingers. It would be just way too good, synchronise way too well if one of his illustrious tries in his illustrious career would emanate from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. His winger partner is Jacob Gagai. He will be making his first grade debut. What a friggin' time to make your debut. The centres, Isaiah Tass and Richard Kenner, Cody Walker and Lachlan Ilias are the halves pairing. Forward pack, Totola, Cook and Sean Keppie. Sean Keppie coming up against his old side for the first time, and in the first time that he's making his club debut as well for South Sydney Rabbitohs in the regular season. The back row, Koloa Matangi, Arrow and Cameron Murray. The interchange reads Havili, Host, Mawali and Tom Burgess. And the reserves reads Talis Duncan, Shaq Mitchell is floating around there as well. Also, the referees for this very special occasion, Ashley Klein will be the on-field referee, and the the bunker, I should say, is going to be Gerard Sutton. The stats don't read well for Manly, do they? Only one win since 2013 in round one, which came last season, and they've lost 7 in a row against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I think of the 2 games this weekend, this will be the closest. Watch it turn out to be the most lopsided game now that I've said that. I really thought I was going to fall one way coming into this game, but now that Latrell Mitchell, or I was under the impression he was going to miss, and I was also under the impression that Cody Walker was going to miss due to an injury concern, Cody Walker's inclusion in particularly changes the game, man. It really does. This is going to be a very, very even contest. I could say that Cody Walker's coming in underdone. Well, Tom Turbo, I don't think he had himself a trial game. I don't think he played in week 1 of the pre-season challenge. So neither did DCE for that matter, I don't think. I'm going to stick with my original train of thought, and I am going to go the outsiders in this game. Can't wait to see how Brooks and DCE actually play together. I'm going to go Manly. I'm not confident about it, but hey, while in Vegas, you go big. I'm going Latrell Mitchell to score 2 tries in Las Vegas, which will give him 100 tries in his career, and I'm going to go Manly to win this game 1-12. And game number 2 from Allegiant Stadium is the Sydney Roosters versus the Brisbane Broncos. Check your local times for kickoff, but for Queensland, I believe it kicks off at approximately 2:30 p.m. The Roosters versus the Broncos. And on Sportsbet Easts are $2.42. The Broncos are $1.57 favourites. This will be the 58th meeting between Easts and Brisbane. And it is Brisbane who have the overall head-to-head record at 32 wins to 25 losses, or 25 victories to the Sydney Roosters. Before I get into the stats, let's get into the team list news now for this historic occasion. For the Roosters, the home side, technically, Tedesco is at fullback. Tupou and Suoli'i are the wingers. Billy Smith and Joey Manu are the centres. Luke Keary and Sam Walker are the halves pairing. The forward pack, Spencer Leniu will start with jersey number 8 on his back. Brandon Smith and Lindsay Collins in the front row. And then in the back row, Siwa Wong, Tupanua and Victor Radley. The interchange is Sandon Smith, Nofahu White, Butcher and Terrell May. And on the reserves are Fatalega Pauga, Angus Crichton and Connor Watson have been named on the reserves. Angus Crichton, if he is a late inclusion, let it be known that it will be his 100th match for the Eastern Suburbs. So he'd be crossing his fingers that he might be a late inclusion. If he does play, it will be his 100th match for the Roosters. And just as well, Egan Butcher, wasn't quite anticipating to see Egan Butcher named on the reserves. I thought he was kind of solid for the Roosters last season. But anyway, that's what it is. Let's go on to the Brisbane Broncos now. And at fullback is Reece Walsh. Arthurs and Mariner are the wingers. Staggs and Cobbo are the centres. So this is 100% in concrete now that Cobbo has shifted from the wing to the centre, in my opinion. And then we've got Mann and Reynolds at the halves pairing. Forward pack is Jensen, Haas and Walters. Congratulations to Billy Walters, by the way, and Selwyn Cobbo for a couple of different reasons. Selwyn Cobbo plays his 50th first grade game. Congratulations to him. And Billy Walters plays his 50th first grade game for the Brisbane Broncos. So well done to those two gentlemen. That's locked in. In the back row, Piakura, Ricky and Carrigan. The interchange, Smoothie, Baker, Hetherington and the big tall bit of timber, Xavier Willison. The reserves list for the Broncos features names like Corey Oates, Martin Tapa'u, and Tristan Saylor. The on-field referee for this game will be Adam G, and the bunker referee will be Grant Atkins. Since 2018, Eastern Suburbs are right there with Manly as being one of the more porous sides to kick off one's campaign. They are 1-5 since 2018, since 2018 in round one matches. For the Broncos, they're identical to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They are 3-3 since 2018 in round one. Since the start of 2020, 5 of the past 7 games, while pretty much all of them have been entertaining, 5 of the past 7 games have been decided by big 13+ point margins. I do think that if one game is going to result in a 13+ point margin, it is going to be this game, but my luck again will probably contradict it all this weekend, so maybe go against me. So I am anticipating, if it's not 13+, maybe a 10-point victory to either side. I don't, for some reason, feel like this will be a close thriller like Manly and South Sydney will be. As so far as try scorers go, I'm going to put some dosh on Satili Tupanua to be an anytime try scorer, and I think Walsh and Cobbo for the Brisbane Broncos will crash over for them as well. While Easts are going to be a top 4 team in my opinion, please check out my ladder predictions video that I released last night. I think the Broncos, with some grand final experience now in the back pocket and some real mongrel about them and some vengeance in their blood, they're going to be a real prick in 2024 once more. But they do have the toughest draw, in my opinion. While they are the elite team, arguably the premier team of the NRL, they have the toughest draw, and it does start with this away trip against a Roosters side that is not to be mucked around with. I am going to tip the Brisbane Broncos to win this game. I will say 1-12, but I don't think it will be a close 1-12. I think that they can secure a victory with maybe 10 minutes remaining sort of thing. I'm looking potentially at a 30 points to 20 sort of a scoreline for the Brisbane Broncos. And for the South Sydney versus Manly game, I'm anticipating something like a 26-20 sort of a scoreline. I think we're going to be in for some points this weekend anyway, out there at Las Vegas. What an absolute occasion. What a time to friggin' be alive if you're a rugby league supporter. The pre-season's done. The regular season does start this weekend. Australian soil matches begin the week after, and I will be creating a separate video for that, of course, when the team lists are dropped next Tuesday. So that's it. I'm going to go Manly 1-12, and I am going to go Brisbane Broncos 1-12, but I think that they will probably have not an easier time of it, but I think that they might just have a few too many points in them. But I am worried about whoever Dean Mariner is going to be lining up against, whether it be Tupou or Suaalii. So that might be a contentious point or an easy point for the Roosters to attack. But Mariner's a pretty talented young man anyway. Hope you enjoyed the video. That felt really good to get back into the swing of things. Thank you very much, guys. See you in the next episode. Take care. Adios.